Many families share a love for cooking, and mine also. My grandmother used to make all my birthday cakes, and I have such fond memories of her decorating and baking. That is why I try to make our kitchen a spot to gather together and enjoy cooking. A place to share with my kids and create unforgettable memories. Today I want to share with you how to make my grandmother's signature birthday cake with an old-fashioned seafoam icing recipe that will be a hit with any member of your family. This is an old-timey recipe, but it has been adapted to what I believe is convenient so that it is easier to make. It will make enough for a double-tier 9-inch cake, and it will take you around 3 hours. We recommend making everything the day before and not the day of the party. How to make a perfect old-timey birthday cake with seafoam icing. Ingredients: 1 cup of softened margarine, 1 3/4 cups of white sugar, 3 eggs, 1½ teaspoons of vanilla extract, 2½ cups of all-purpose flour, gluten-free alternative, 6 tablespoons of unsweetened cocoa powder, 1½ teaspoons of baking soda, 1 teaspoon of salt, 1½ cups of whole milk. For the seafoam icing: 3/4 cups of light brown sugar, 3/4 cups of white sugar, 1/3 cup of hot water, 3 egg whites, 1 teaspoon of vanilla. How to make seafoam icing. Step 1. First, we need to preheat the oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. You will also need to butter and flour 2 cake pans 9-inch. You could place some parchment paper instead if you prefer. Step 2. We will sift together all our dry ingredients so that we have an even cake mix. This includes flour, baking soda, salt, and cocoa. Step 3. Using a stand mixer with a paddle attachment or a hand mixer if you do not have one, cream together the margarine and sugar until they are nice and fluffy. You can also use butter for this recipe instead, but we prefer the lightness of the margarine. Step 4. After that is done, beat in the eggs. Make sure they are incorporated fully before adding another one. Also, add in the vanilla. Do this over medium speed and do not move on until everything is well beaten together. Step 5. Add the cake mix in 3 stages, alternating it with the milk. Use the mixer at a low speed to avoid getting sprayed with any flour or milk. Once everything is well incorporated, you will have the cake batter ready. Step 6. Divide the batter evenly in the 2 pans and tap them on the counter softly to even them out. Step 7. Bake for approximately 40 to 45 minutes. Always check that a skewer or knife comes out clean from the center. That is a fail-proof way to know if your cakes are done. Step 8. Let them cool for 15 minutes before unmolding them and placing them upside down on a cooling rack to completely cool. If you have space in your fridge, then place them inside so that they cool faster. Step 9. Moving on to the frosting. While we wait for them to cool down, grab a medium saucepan and place the brown sugar, white sugar, and water in it. Step 10. Over medium heat, dissolve the sugar into the water and cook it until you reach the thread stage. This can be tricky, so here go a few tips to help you out. First, you will want to stir the mixture over the heat until everything is dissolved. Once that happens, leave it be until it reaches 223 degrees Fahrenheit to 235 degrees Fahrenheit. You will need to place a candy thermometer in to be sure. This is called the thread stage. You can also make sure you are at the right temperature by dropping a small amount, a teaspoon maybe, of the syrup into a cup of cold water. If it forms threads, then you are there. If it is still liquid, it needs a bit more time. Step 11. While the caramel gets to temperature, place the 3 egg whites on the stand mixer and whip them until you reach stiff peaks. It takes a while, but we need the texture. Step 12. Keep the mixer going at medium speed. Grab the saucepan with the syrup at the right temperature and carefully drizzle it into the whites. Be very careful not to pour it into the paddle, as it will form threads of caramel, making your icing grainy. Another thing to take into account is that you should not scrape the sides of the bowl until everything is well incorporated. This can also form grainy crystals. Step 13. You will need to beat this mixture until you reach stiff peaks again. Here is when you need to add the vanilla to flavor it. You could also use almond extract. Step 14. The icing is finished, so now we need to stack our cakes. Once they are cool, see if you need to trim down the tops of the cake. This can happen and it will make your cake look roundish and you will not be able to put one over the other. Use a serrated knife to level them. Place some frosting in the middle and add the second layer. Always secure the first layer with a dollop of frosting on the cake stand. Step 15. Crumb coat the cakes with a thin layer of icing. Afterward, place them in the fridge to cool down and get firm. Step 16. After 20 minutes, grab your cake again. This time, we will decorate it with a beautiful seafoam texture. This icing will let you achieve this easily, and it is also very natural looking. Using a spoon or spatula, place the frosting over the cake, but do not smooth it out. Just create the texture you desire. You can always add some food coloring to make it stand out even more. There is no need to pipe and the effect is just beautiful. Step 17. Decorate it with pearls or chocolate beads. If you liked this video, don't forget to like and subscribe.